Welcome to this video. Wow, it feels like a long time since I've sat in this chair. I've got a few things that I want to discuss today. I'm going to try to do it in one full run. So I apologize if this is a little bit quick, if I make a couple of errors, because I've got a lot of things to do, but there's a few things that I need to discuss. So we're going to talk about the website, we're going to talk about postage, we're going to talk about where I've been, big plans, and then we'll call this a day. So I'm going to try to keep it wrapped in about 10 minutes. So obviously you know that this channel has got enough viewers and watch hours to be monetized, but I've not done that because I don't want to eat into the content with random adverts. And so I've chosen not to add sponsors to these videos, but because of that, I'm sponsoring myself. If you want to look up the products that I've got, you can go across to www.slightofmind.co.uk, or if you're in a pinch, peterturner.co.uk. And there's a couple of things that are going to be added onto the website that are more rare than the normal objects and items. One of them is going to be just one article or one item on its own. I did mention it on the live, but I'm going to mention it on this. It's a pre-production version of Attic Salt. So that's the version that I used as the prototype for the Attic Salt books. And it's actually got extra routines in it than the original version of Attic Salt. Those routines got redacted when it went to final print. And that's up on the website. That's a one-off custom thing that I found in my office as I were moving. And I also found 4 Bigger Fish Files bottles. Now, if you don't know what the Bigger Fish Files are, a few years ago, I created a very rare and limited item. And I designed a television show. And I thought, you know, wouldn't it be interesting, instead of just going out and doing regular performance videos, to go out and to do a television style show and then break that down and talk about how to build a live show, jam with some of my favourite artists in the UK, the likes of Michael Murray and Mark Shandow and Dave Humphries and other people. And so that's exactly what I did. And usually what I'll do is I'll keep a few items or objects back just in case I have a lecture, but as you know, I never really get the time to do that. And then I find them, and I've moved office. I've actually built the back end of the studio out into an office now, and I found those objects or items, so they're going to be listed on the site. And another thing that's going to be listed is a book called Split. Now, there's only a very limited number of these. I actually had these produced for Blackpool. It's my take on free will. And what I've done is done a deep dive into the free will plot in a properless way, so that in a bar, in a social situation, in a live show, in any type of show, you can perform a really interesting version of free will that you can use as a chair test. You can use it to force somebody at a table for a psychological force. You can perform free will without having to falter on the prediction. Now, if you know the original version of free will, you'll understand that it's a perspective-based prediction. And in this, you don't need to worry about that. You can just 100% of the time nail exactly who's got what, and you can tell them specifically without writing a prediction if you want. But that's going to be listed on the website. If you look down in the description, you'll see the exact links to those products. And by the time this video goes live, they'll be live on the website. Whilst we're talking about the website, let's talk about postage. And I want to drop almost the character for a second. I want to really have a heart-to-heart with you on how the postage works when you order something from me. Because yesterday I received what I consider the most abrasive email I've ever received in my life. And whenever I receive an email like that, I don't even respond. I'll put other people in front of you, or other requests in front of you, other messages in front of you, because I'm not going to waste my time talking to people in a negative capacity. It's just not me. I'm more of a lover, not a fighter. I'm not interested anymore in dramas and arguing with people, so I just avoid stuff like that. But, you know, I really value you as a customer. If you've ordered something from me and you've supported my journey and you've allowed me to be me, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, that I want to do the best that I can by you. And I think the best way to stop those type of emails is to talk about exactly what happens when you order. Now, there's 4 different ways things can go when you order. It's either I've got the item or the object and I'm in the UK and I post it personally. I have a professional company come in and post, and I'll explain that in a moment. I drop ship something, and again, I'll explain that. Or it's a custom designed order, which is more rare, but it happens. If I've got the item in stock and I'm in the UK, it's me that personally posts it. And I've had in the past people in the UK order something on Monday and then say to me, well, my object didn't arrive by Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't go to the post office every day. It takes me an hour round trip to get to the post office. And because it takes me an hour round trip to go to the post office, and if there's traffic with schools or it's rush hour, it takes even longer than that. I can't do that every day, because then I might have to stand in the queue for half an hour, and I can't eat 2 hours out of my day every single day. So what I'll do is I'll let those orders stack up for a week, and then I'll post them out. They'll go out. So it might be the next week that you get your order. But if you've placed an order with me, I promise you this, I will do my utmost best to make sure it gets to you. It doesn't logically make any sense that I'd want to rip you off for £25 or £100. It doesn't even make sense that. My business would shut down very quickly and it wouldn't be worth me operating. Whilst on the subject of me having the item and me posting it, I want to talk about the playing cards. Now, I did receive a very, very respectful email from somebody, and you know who you are, and I want to thank you because you actually made my day with your email with how nice you are, because the contrast between your email and the email that I received off this troll were just night and day. So you know who you are, I want to thank you, and I'm going to send you a little bit of something in the post for being so respectful and nice, because actually I felt like I had no confidence in people after that just because of how nasty this email was, and I'm not going to get into the details of the email, but your email made me smile, so I'm going to send you a little bit of something via email that I hope you enjoy for your weight. But with the playing cards, I made a little bit of a boo-boo, and I'm not afraid to admit when I made a mistake. So what I did is I took all the playing cards, because they're only very small, they're only 15 decks, and I took them to America with me. And that meant that the UK and the European orders actually got posted in the middle of my America trip from America. So if they're taking a little bit longer to come, that's why they're taking longer. The America orders should have landed. They should be there by now. If they've not, please just drop me an email or a message and I'll sort that out. But I posted the American ones out in America, and I also posted the European and English ones out in America. I should have posted them before I went, but I didn't realize how quick the whole trip to America were going to come about. And I can't talk about what that is, but I had some business in America, and it will literally, look, you've got to get here in 48 hours, you need to sign this paperwork. So I had to jump on a plane. So instead of losing out on you know, posting those orders, I took the orders of the cards with me and they got posted out there. So if you're still waiting on your cards in Europe or England, that's why I posted them in the middle of a road trip, which I'll talk about in a moment. Now, the second way that something's posted is by a professional postage service. If it's a high-priced or limited edition item, then I have a professional service come in, they'll collect that order, they'll package it, they'll put the labels on the top of it, they'll take it personally, and they can do the whole rigmarole of going through 2 hours of their day round trip to post it. And the higher price warrants that. Now, that doesn't mean that the customers buying higher price objects are valued anymore. Any customer is valued by me, but because the margin is a bit bigger on those limited edition objects or items, it warrants me being able to get that professional service to come in. So if you get the Grail or you get the Bigger Fish files, that's what will happen. Now, the third one, and this is the one that's important, is drop shipping. It's so important you understand how drop shipping works. Drop shipping works if I'm not in the country and I have an object or an item. I will personally reach out to a company that can create that item or order for me. They'll design it, they'll print it if it's a book, and they will post it or they will print it and send it. And the reason that's beneficial is if I'm 3 weeks into a trip in America and I realize that you've sent me an order, you know, in America, and I'm already over there, I don't have a backpack of books. I don't have DVD sets. I don't have video projects. I don't have playing cards usually with me. So what I'll do is if you place an order, I don't want you to have to wait maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks before I get back. So then I'll do the best thing that I can do by going to a drop shipping company. And when I go to that drop shipping company, I have to get your order. I'll collect those orders up. If I'm on the road, which again, I'll talk about at the back end of this video, I'll then take those orders and I'll punch them into a drop shipping company. I'll take a morning doing that. So it might be, again, it might be that it's a week or so before I get your order because I'm on the road somewhere. Then at the end of that week, I'll then take your order, I'll put it into a drop shipping company. They'll then start to produce that object or item. And if they have to print it, it goes in a queue. That order then gets printed, it gets designed, and it gets sent to you. And that means it's still going to get to you faster than it would if I got back home and I posted it personally. So I'm trying my best, I'm doing my best, guys. But you got to remember, like yesterday, I was working on a video for a company that were a poker company. Tomorrow, I'm filming a video and I'm directing a video for a company I can't talk about. Sunday, I've been nominated for a BAFTA, so I'm heading down to London tomorrow to go to a show, to look at a show. I'm working on a show in London. That's not the show that everybody assumes I'm working on, but somebody's flying in from another country and I'll be working on their show. And then Sunday, I'll be attending the BAFTAs, and then I'll be back home on Tuesday. And then I'll collect the orders that have come in and I'll probably take them out Wednesday because I've been away this week. So there's a slight delay of just a couple of days there. But if you place an order and I don't have the object, I'll also drop ship it. That means that I'm getting it created for you and posting it so it gets to you as fast as possible. Now, I'm not in charge of the postal service. If you order from America and I'm in England, it's got to get from me to the post office. Then it's got to go to a customs agent who looks at it, checks it out, sends it across seas. It's got to get to your customs agency. Then it's got to be passed on to a local courier. Then it's got to be delivered to you. And that process takes time. So if you order on a Monday, it's not going to take 2 days to get to America, New Zealand, Australia. And if it's a custom order, like a cap, this is the fourth thing. Caps, I keep a few of them in stock. But if I have to get these printed, these can take a week or 2 weeks to get to me. It takes a week or 2 weeks to get to me. And then I've got to look at them personally to make sure there's no defects. I've got to package them back up and I've got to post them back out. That takes a little bit of time. So all I'm asking for is if you place an order with me, I promise you I will do my absolute best to get it to you. I'll do my absolute best, and I promise you that. But please just grace me with some courtesy, grace me with some respect, and just know that it's not as seamless a process as you think. If I'm away and I receive your order, when I talk about my road trip, sometimes I'm off grid for a week or two. If I'm working on set on a television show, I'm off grid. And I'm doing my best. I'm absolutely doing my best. But I promise you, for me to keep delivering at the quality that I'm delivering at, I just need a little bit of patience. And I'm going to make good on every order that's been, ordered. And I should be up to date with every single order. If you've not received an order from me, other than the playing cards, and there's one Grail order that the company's coming to pick up today, incidentally. If you've not received an order off me, feel free to email me. And I promise you, I will get back to you at my first convenience. As soon as you start being negative, or as soon as you start sending me abrasive messages, I just put somebody else in front of you, because I just don't have the capabilities to handle that at this moment in time. I have a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't realize. And this is not related to other people's stuff. This is stuff in my personal life. So that's that. I just want to talk about the postage. So now let's talk about where I've been, because this is the exciting part. I've just got back from about 5 weeks in America. And then I was jet lagged to hell. I ended up really ill, and then I ended up working on a show and other things. So it feels like an eternity since I've sat down. But I decided to get an RV and travel from the West Coast in America right over to the East Coast on the road trip to end all road trips. And some of the things that I saw there were absolutely incredible. I picked up the little pig, or Pig Cake, as is more affectionately known to some people here, who came along to document the entire journey as we went along. And we stopped off in a load of different hot spots along the way, from Sedona, New Orleans, Memphis, Kentucky. And I'm going to talk in depth about that road trip on a live that I'm going to do. I'm going to do a live when I get back next week. So please, tune into that. But I shot something out there that I think is really interesting. And it's going to ruffle a few feathers in the mentalism industry, and not purposeful, I don't want that, but it's going to ruffle a few feathers with companies, because it's such an interesting thing that I shot. And I just can't wait for you to see what it is, but it looks so good. I can't believe the quality of the output that we're managing to capture and we're managing to release now, because looking back on my videos just 5-10 years ago, the quality difference is massive. But yeah, working with Pig Cake were interesting. I'll talk more about that on the live. I'll talk about the difficulties of having to work with other people when you're in a confined space, because we were in an RV for nearly 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, which were interesting because he doesn't drive. He couldn't drive, it was too big for him. So I ended up doing 2 weeks of driving. And then I want to get back to being able to do weekly videos. So I am going to be consistent again as soon as I get back from the BAFTAs. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk about that I didn't get round to the first time. And I'm actually going to hire somebody to get together. I've got the footage, episode 2 and a couple of documentaries. And there's also going to be a second channel. And the second channel will be linked in the description when that goes live on a video. I'll tell you which video that is, but that's going to go into the description. And that's not going to be magic related. It's not going to be mentalism related. It's going to be more life related. The things that I get up to in my personal life. If I'm rebuilding a car, you'll see that process. I might even talk about the things that I love to cook. I might show you the build of this studio. I might talk to you about how I built this studio. Talk to you about cinematography and what I've learned on my journey as a cinematographer. Talk to you about directing. Talk to you about what it's like to actually work on a professional set. Talk to you about what it's like to design websites when you've never designed websites, and learn new skills and other things. So that second channel is going to go live soon. There's a few other interesting plans that are in the works, but I don't want to release those just yet. But I just wanted to touch base and let you know that I haven't disappeared. I've not negated my promise. I'm still here. I'm still producing these videos. They are going to be more consistent. And I just want you to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I really am thankful for you. I'm thankful for every single one of you for the things that you do for me. And I promise you, if you see me at a convention, come, let's sit down. If you think that that's me just saying that, at the last Blackpool convention, there were a kid that said that didn't understand a few of the things that I'd wrote in my books, couldn't understand the way that I'd written them. I literally sat down for about 2 or 3 hours and we had a personal jam session. So if I have the time, stop me. If you see me about, stop me. We'll sit, we'll talk, we'll hang out. You know, I'm going to do my best to attend more conventions, film more stuff, talk about more things on this channel. And that really is the end of this video. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can keep up to date with the way things that are going. And yeah, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. And I promise you there's going to be more video updates in the future. So please tune into the live. We'll talk about all things that I did on my trip. And I just, yeah, again, I'm very, very thankful for everything. So until next time, take care.